I'd say this fight has got a pretty good chance of being the most entertaining of the lot on a card which has quite a few good fights. Joseph Parker knows what he needs to do. He has to try and defuse the bomb. Deontay Wilder just has to do what he does 90% of the time. It's a fight which has been teased in the past and certainly would have made sense back when they were both world champions. Wilder WBC, Parker WBO respectively. Now they're both probably a little bit past their prime. Wilder certainly being 38 can't have too much road ahead of him. But if Parker were to win, make no mistake, this would register as his most significant victory thus far. Perhaps making good of that potential we first saw when we saw the kind of speed and coordination that isn't that common in the heavyweight division. Yeah, there was the title-winning effort against Andy Ruiz, of course, back in 2016 now, which I thought Parker did deserve to win. 7-5. And it's also a victory that aged pretty good because of what Ruiz went on to do to AJ. But then how Ruiz showed up in that AJ rematch for me just underlined how he's not a key player. And you feel Wilder, even being older, you know what he's capable of. He's got the kind of style that probably ages okay. He only needs that one opportunity. He still very much probably is a key player until he retires. And so I'd imagine Andy Lee has constructed a pretty tight game plan in order for Parker to get the W. He was a little bit reticent to disclose any tactics I saw on one interview. I think a lot of it will come down to either being too far away when you have to reset or the referee separates, or being too close, which is probably where you want to be 80% of the time against Wilder. A guy who has shown virtually no inside game, and he's quite rickety, doesn't have the best balance. This is surely where Parker has got to go to work. He has been a bit lazy up close before. He hasn't always shown the best infighting or mid-range game. He needs to have really worked on these things to push in with his shoulder, make a bit of space, work that slender body, and then look for the right hand up top. I really feel, much like Wilder, Parker's right hand is going to be the money-making shot. Now, with Wilder being the taller one, they are going to come together here differently than Wilder did with Tyson Fury. He's got the opportunity to lean on Parker a little bit, and that might be part of the game plan that's been cooked up with Malik Scott. Scuba Scott, of course. Now, this is where also Parker has been compliant in the past. He's like, okay, yeah, why not? Let's have a break. Let's have a nice break. No, he has got to fight for space, and he has got to get off with his faster punches. Where the real danger lies is in that no man's land between long range and on Wilder's chest. This is where he can probably surprise you with his ability to track you and walk you on to the right hand. He has got a very good straight right hand when he's got the time to gauge you, like, say, the Luis Ortiz rematch. We know, we've seen it many times. What you might forget is his ability to make things happen in small spaces. Look at the knockout against Spilka. Look at the more recent one against Helenius. He didn't have a lot of space to work with, and boom, he just managed to get you. In the Helenius case, he was in a bit of an awkward angle trying to scurry away, and he's still able to produce enough power to turn your lights out. That is a certain kind of innate skill. And so this is where Parker should have drawn some inspiration from his good pal, Tyson Fury. Fury, of course, used a bit of a stutter step in that dominant rematch against Wilder. He didn't know whether he was coming or going. Lots of feints, lots of confusion, and then he's inside and mugging you. Can Parker throw in enough feints, have quick enough feet to get inside and confuse Wilder before he knows what's happened, and then get to work, to shut him down, take advantage of his weak foundation? It's a big if. I can see this game plan looking like it's on its way to securing victory, but then, because a little bit of a lack of discipline here and there, a lack of true infighting ability, and probably not quite enough pop to get Wilder out of there, this is where there's going to be a bit of a turning point. Wilder is going to find him more hittable, more tired, and that's where it all goes wrong. Amongst all the ridiculous excuses and whining and cheesy videos, one thing that was underlined beyond dispute in those losses to Tyson Fury is that the Bronze Bomber is one gutsy individual. Bravery and toughness are probably the two most important things in a boxing ring for the simple fact they keep you in the fight. And when you can punch like he does, him staying in this fight for as long as possible and finding and picking up Parker on his own deficiencies, that's where he should be able to seal the deal. I anticipate a desperate fight, an exciting fight. Parker knows what it's like to be stopped now in the professional ranks, so he should just really go for it. He knows what the risks are and what he has to do. I just think Wilder has too many of the trump cards. He is just as gritty as Parker, maybe not quite as solid, but of course he's got that one thing that is the very last thing to go in a fighter. But how do we all see this fight? Who have you got? Do you have a specific round it's going to end in? And do you agree that it's the most exciting one on Day of Reckoning?